state management. Okay, in this topic, we have to cover the concepts like what are the techniques for the state management, what is state management, and the concepts like cookies, query string, tame data, application state, and session state. That is nothing but client side state management and server side state management concept. Okay, now this topic is already familiar with you. It's just because we have already seen these concepts in ASP.NET. Okay, almost like same concepts are repeated in MVC, and one new concept is given over here, which is temp data. Okay, so to start with, first, now what is state management and when the state management concept is required? Now you tell me, what is state management? Because this concept is covered. So now we can give the answer. In which cases the state management concept is required? Anyone? Hello? What is state management?
To save the info as HTTP is stateless.
Hmm. As HTTP is a stateless protocol, and that's why what we require is we need to store the user information somewhere at client side or the server side to identify whether the request is sent from the same user or not. Okay, and that's why the state management concept is required. So state management, it is a mechanism which is used to preserve the data or user data either at client side or at server side. Okay, and it is used to maintain the state of user. Means through cookies or session, we can easily identify whether the user session is currently active or not. Okay, and on the basis of that, the data will be saved or like you can say destroyed. The same concept is given in MVC. Like in an ASP.NET MVC application, like this application uses HTTP protocol to communicate between the web browser and a web server. That is nothing between the like client and the server. Okay, so whenever client will send the request to the server, that request is sent in the form of HTTP. And HTTP is what? It is a stateless protocol, and it cannot automatically indicate whether the sequential requests are coming from the same or from the different clients. It's just because once the request is accepted, it generates that response and send it back to the client. And after sending the response, that server will forget everything about that current request. And that's why if I'm sending the next request again from the same user, the server will not identify whether that request is given from the same client or not. Okay. Therefore, each time a web page is posted to the server, a new instance of web page is created. Okay, like every time a new object for HTTP context class is created, and as a result, there is a loss of information associated with the page and the controls placed on it. Okay, means the data could not be preserved. Okay, and to overcome this limitation, MVC provides the various state management features. So what are those? Here we have total 5 features. Those are cookies, query string, temp data, application, and session state. We have already seen cookies, query string, application, and session. Only temp data concept is new. Okay, so let's go through all the concepts as well as we have to learn these things practically. Okay, and along with that, here also we'll take the example of session and cookies with ADO.NET. Okay, so what is cookie? Sorry, cookies, these are the small piece of information that are stored on the client computer, and the cookies are always stored in the form of key and value pair. And that's why we can define the cookie as it is a small, like you can say, piece of textual information stored within a client browser. Okay, and it is possible to create two different type of cookies that is either persistent or non-persistent. Okay, if I'm creating a persistent cookie, then it is possible to set an expiration date or time to that cookie. Means for how much time that data will be stored within a client's computer. Okay, and if it is a non-persistent cookie, then once we will take exit from that computer or PC, sorry, browser, immediately it will remove that cookie. Okay, so the purpose of storing this information is what? Is to offer a personalized experience to the user. Okay, means what? The frequently used data can be retrieved directly from the client computer. Okay, every time you don't have to communicate with server. Okay, like for example, they have given if the user has logged on to a website for the first time, the name of that user can be stored in the form of cookie. Okay, now at the time of learning this concept in ASP.NET, I have given you one diagram related to cookies concept, that how the request and response is handled by cookie. Okay, and then next they have given the syntax for creating a cookie, which is same as ASP.NET syntax. There is no change in this. Okay, anyhow we have to use request.cookies and response.cookies, these two properties along with some methods. Okay, how to access that cookies, that also we have learned. Now what is the next thing they have given, that is advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so I'll cover this much part first and then we will check the examples. So what are the advantages of using cookie? A cookie, it is stored on the client computer and it can be read by a server after the request for a page is posted. Okay, means like simply we can say the cookies data is always stored at client browser. Okay, and that's why the server load can be decreased. Okay, and the client, or sorry, the server can easily read that data. Okay, so therefore there is no server resource involved in maintaining the cookie. Second is it is a text-based data structure that contains key and value pair, and therefore it is easy to create and manipulate the cookie because the values can be easily retrieved with the help of key. Okay, and a cookie can expire when the browser session ends or can exist for a specified time on the client computer as per your requirement. Okay, so this is what the concept of or advantage of cookie is. Okay, but at the same time we have some disadvantages also. What are the limitations? The cookies that are stored on the client computer have the limited size, and therefore you cannot store the large amount of data within a cookie. Anyhow, just like I said, it stores text based information. So obviously if I have to store anything like a media file or the videos, songs, images, those things, sorry, cannot be saved within a cookie. Then a user can disable cookies to prevent them from being stored on the hard disk of the computer. And if the user denies permission for the cookies, an ASP.NET Web application cannot store cookies on the client computer. Okay, so in last lecture we had seen that Gmail, it is one of the live website which makes the user cookies concept. So if you have disabled cookies on your browser, then that Gmail website doesn't work. Okay, and every time if you have seen or noticed on some websites, it gives one prompt that allow cookies. Okay, and if I'll allow those cookies, then some of the content which is generally not available, for the first time that content will become available. Okay, so that is again another limitation, that it's totally in a client's hand, that whether he want to enable the cookie or he want to enable cookies data or not. Okay, if the client allows us to store the data, then only that data can be fetched. Okay, or else we cannot work with the further functionality. Okay, or operations. Okay, so user can the third limitation is the user can tamper with the cookies because the cookies are stored within a client browser. So it's totally in a client hand, or the client will decide whether he want to keep those cookies data in his browser or not. If I want, I can manually change that data, as well as I can remove that data from the client browser. Okay, so let's see how the cookies concept is implemented. So here I have already created one example. This is a simple example. So what that example says, Like I have created one controller as state management controller, which has two different type of method. One is the get method as index. This method is responsible for displaying the designing page. Okay, and another is the store data method, which act like post method for this index. Okay, which like helps us to retrieve the data or submitted data from that index page and work with that data. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is right click on controllers and add a new controller. Then within that controller, index method is by default available. So simply right click on index method and add a view. Okay, now here as I'm not making the use of models, so you don't have to create any strongly typed view. It will be a simple view. Okay, like index.cshtml. Then within this, by using HTML helper method, I have created one form as @using html.begin form. Now we have already seen that begin form. This method accepts three parameters. The first one is the method to which this form will be submitted. So I'm submitting this form to which method? Store data, comma. This method belongs to which controller? State management. Okay, and the type of method is what? Post. Done. Then we have created a simple design that I have taken first name and last name, two different text boxes. For first text box, I have given the name as F name. For second text box, I have given the name as L name. Then we have created 5 submit buttons for implementing all 5 concepts, where we have written the code as input type equal to submit, name equal to data, and value equal to create cookies. Okay, so here similarly, just like I have created the first button, in the same way we have created remaining 4 buttons. And if you have noticed one thing, then all 4 buttons, sorry, all 5 buttons have the same name, that is data. Only values are differentiated. Okay, so I will retrieve the data on the basis of this name, and on the basis of given values, we will perform the particular operation. Okay, this is possible. Now, in the same way, here, once this design is created, suppose I will enter the first name, I will enter the last name, and we will click on any one of this button. So first we have to work with what? Cookies. So just click on create cookies. Once I'll click on create cookies, the form will be navigated to store data method. So I need to create this method first, and within this method, from this CSHTML page, okay, how much data we are sending, okay. सो इथून आपण काय काय सेंड करणार आहोत? एक तर फर्स्ट नेम, देन लास्ट नेम, आणि थर्ड काय आहे? सबमिट बटनचा जो डेटा असेल तो. सो इट सिम्पली मीन्स की आपण स्टोअर डेटा मेथड मध्ये आर्ग्युमेंट किंवा पॅरामीटर किती घ्यावे लागतील आपल्याला? 3. दॅट इज एफ नेम, एल नेम अँड डेटा. नाउ वाय? इट्स जस्ट बिकॉज इन जनरल जेव्हा तुम्ही नॉर्मली वर्क करता, द थिंग इज लाईक यू हॅव टू bind that data, accepted data to the model class. But as here I have not taken any model class, so obviously we have to accept the data only through variables. Like I can say the way we are accepting the data through query string. Okay, in the same way we can accept the data over here. Okay, now let's create the store data method. So public action results store data. As I said, we have to accept how many parameters? 3. That is F name, L name, and data. If this data is exactly equal to create cookies, then response.cookies, we have taken F name, because as you know, for creating the cookies, we have to use response object, and for retrieving the cookies, we have to use request object. So response.cookies F name dot value as F name, then response.cookies L name dot value equal to last name, then response.cookies, like I have created one persistent cookie for the first name, and this cookie will be expired within a 10 seconds. Okay, and we will return view as what? Create cookie. Done. So here I have manually given the name to the view as what? Create cookie. Okay, and that's why what we have to do, just navigate to the view, state management folder within a views folder, and add a view with the name as what? Create cookie. Okay, just like I have already created over here. Okay, once that name is added, here our task is what? I just have to fetch that cookie and display it to the user. So within H3, we have written welcome request.cookies fname.value, and in the same way request.cookies lname.value. Okay, so the response object they are used to set the cookies, and request object they are used to get the cookies data. Okay, so let's see the output. Wait, it is still executing. Okay, so you can see the output is displayed. Now enter the value over here, enter the first name and enter the last name. Now if I click on create cookies, it redirects us to store data method where the output is displayed as welcome ABC and XYZ. Okay, here this data is saved in what? Cookies. Now the next concept they have given is query string. Okay, now in ASP.NET project we have seen, and as well as we have used this query string for n number of times. Okay, the purpose of query string is what? It is mainly used to pass the data from the current page to the requested page. Okay, and the data will be visible only on two pages, that is the current one, means the page from which we are sending the request, and to the page on which we are accepting that request. Okay, then as they have given, like sometimes it is required to transfer the information from one page to the another page, like whenever the user will select the category, another page with the detailed information of the selected category is displayed, and this process requires you to transfer the information about your selected category to the another page so that the relevant details can be displayed. Okay, and you can perform this task by using a query string. Okay, like yesterday also, as we had seen, in case of approaches, whenever we are creating that scaffolding template on index page, like it generates three different hyperlink over there, like edit, details, and delete. Okay, and for all three hyperlinks, it's mandatory to pass the query string value as product ID or the primary key value. Okay, so a query string, it provides a simple way to pass the information from one page to the another page, and it is a part of URL that appears after question mark. Okay, which we already know. And if you have to separate one value from the another, Then for that purpose, we need to make the use of like ampersand over that, okay, for separating two or more query string values. Okay, so how that query string is created, here they have given the syntax. Like we can simply say response dot redirect in bracket url dot action contact is our action method name, comma home is the controller name, plus in like third parameter they have given the category equal to what, electronics. Okay. Okay. So in the same way, they have given some advantages and limitation of query string. Advantages are a query string is contained in the HTTP request for the specified URL. Therefore, there is no server resource involved in storing a query string. Okay, means query string value is also maintained at client side. Okay, and that's why server resource is not allocated. Okay, or not used. Okay, and the advantage is what, just because the server resource is not required, the load on the server will be decreased. Okay, then all browsers support query string, means just like in cookies the client have option that he can enable or disable the cookies. In case of query string, such kind of options are not given. Okay, then query string has the limitation as the information the query string is visible within a URL bar. Okay, and that's why we cannot share the sensitive data or sensitive information through query string. Okay, so the information in the query string is directly visible to the user, and therefore query string are not useful for storing the sensitive data. Okay, another is what, some browser impose a limit of 2083 character on the URL length, and this restrict the amount of information that you can pass from one page to the another by using query string. Okay, done. Then let's see the example of same. Now just because I have already created the example, I just have to work with these buttons. Okay, you don't have to change the code. So simply go to the controller, within a controller check if the button name is what, query string, then response dot redirect I have directly returned, instead of writing url dot action, I have directly given the action as display. Display is one of the method name which belongs to the same controller. Okay, so display question mark f name, this is our query string name equal to the first name and l name equal to the last name. Okay, in first lecture also when we had seen that routing concept. Okay, if I'm passing the parameter in a method as id and let's say name, so that name must be passed by using query string. Okay, here also they have given the same. So now I'm passing, means I'm redirecting from the current page to which page, display page. So I need to create this display method first. So simply after completing store data method, create the another method with the name as what, display. Okay, and within this method write the code for retrieving the query string information, like variable uname equal to request dot query string f name and request dot query string l name. Done. Then viewback dot uname equal to uname. Okay, means for passing the data from this page to the view page, that is from controller to the view, I'm making the use of viewback over here. Okay, then right click on display method and add a view with the name as what, display. Done. That view is added, and by using viewback I'm displaying the username to the user, means we are retrieving that name and displaying it to the user. Okay, so I need to pass some data. You can see welcome, that username will be displayed. Okay, this is how the query string values are passed from the current page to the redirected page, and the query string values are persisted only for subsequent request. Okay, they are not persisted among all the pages of our controller or action methods. Okay, so accordingly you need to design this. Now the third concept which is new for you, okay, because this query string and cookies, session and application, these two concepts we already know. Okay, Means we have seen these concepts in ASP.NET and that's why you are familiar with the same. Okay, but this like temp data is new. This concept is like you can relate this with view state concept of ASP.NET. Okay, just like in case of view state in ASP.NET, the data is preserved only for the current request. Okay, means until the final response is rendered on the browser. Okay, only for that specific duration the data is preserved. In the same way, temp data is also like within a name only they have given. It also stores the data only for the temporary purpose and only for the current page. Okay. So what exactly the temp data is? It is a dictionary of storing temporary data in the form of key value pair. Okay. And it can be used to store the values between one request and the another. The values can be added to temp data by adding them to the temp data collection. Okay. Means within that method only, we have to write the code for adding the data to the temp data. Okay, and that temp data value can be fetched on a view page. Okay, any data stored in temp data will be available during the current and the subsequent request only, or until that item is explicitly removed. Okay, then one point I missed, which is this information is preserved for a single request only, and it is designed to maintain the data across a web page redirect. Okay, means at the time of redirecting from the current page to the another page, this can be used. Okay, this is useful in a situation when you want to pass data to a view during a view page, sorry, web page redirect. Okay, means whenever we are redirecting from the current page to the any other web page of our like website. Okay, then how that temp data can be stored and how it can be retrieved. Okay, so the way of storing and retrieving the temp data is exactly the same like view data. Okay, that temp data key equal to value. Okay, then what are the advantages and limitation of temp data? Advantages are it can be used to pass an error message to an error page easily. Okay, means only when the particular page is like you can say loaded with some error. Okay, at that time this can be used. Okay, take an example as I have created a registration page, and when we have clicked on the register button, due to some server problem, okay, not due to exception, I'm saying due to some server problem, the page is reloaded again. Okay, at that time, if you have to set any error message on display to the user, we can use it by using this concept called as temp data. Okay, then as I have already said, get this data, or we can use this temp data to pass the data from the current request to the subsequent request in case of redirection. Okay, and it has following limitation as its life is short and it leaves only until the time the target view is fully loaded. Okay, and it can be used to store only one-time messages such as error message or the validation message. Okay, so let's complete the view sorry temp data first. Again, for temp data we have to write the short code like if the data is exactly equal to temp data, then temp data f name equal to the first name is stored, and we will redirect to which view? Temp data view. So just like I said, keep this look familiar because view data is almost same like temp data. Okay, so I have retrieved the data as variable name equal to temp data f name. You can directly display this over here. It's not mandatory that you have to store the temp data value somewhere within a variable. Okay, and then that variable value is displayed. Now let's see the output. Just because I have stored only the first name, that name will be displayed to the user. Then now the next part is server-side state management, which include application and session. Okay, now theoretical part for the application and session is almost same like ASP.NET. So I'll cover this part first and then I'll take the example. So ASP.NET provide the application state as a mean of storing the application's in data or information. The information in the application state is stored as what? Key value pair. Okay, so almost in all type of state management techniques, the data or like information is stored always in a key value pair. Then the application state is created the first time a user accesses any URL resource in an application. Okay, and that's why the name is given as application, because this is loaded only once. Okay, whenever we are executing that application for the first time. Okay, then after the application state is created, the application specific information is stored within it, and that information is available to use all over the like you can say current project, or you can say website. Okay, the information stored in the application state is shared among all the pages and user session of the web application by using HTTP application state class. Okay, so HTTP application state, like the object of this class is created, and with the help of this class, this application property can be accessed. Okay, then you can add the specific or you can say application specific information to the application start method, or to application start, like by creating the objects and adding them into the application state. Okay, so the variables and object added to the application state are global to an ASP.NET application. Okay, and if you have noticed one thing, that whenever we are creating any ASP.NET MVC application, in every MVC application, that global.asax, that file is already available. Okay, so you don't have to like explicitly add that global application file. Okay, then what are the advantages and limitations? Advantages are what? It is easy and use it is easy to use and consistent with the other .NET framework classes. And storing information in the application state involve maintaining only a single copy of the information. Okay, means once it is created, after that it cannot be changed. Okay, then the application state has the following limitation. What are the limitations? The data stored in the application state is lost when the web server containing the application state fails due to the server crash, upgrade, or shutdown. Okay, because the problem is what? Uh, like the data is stored within a server side. Okay, so obviously, if I'm trying to store the large amount of data, then the problem will be the server may crash. Okay, or the server load will be increased. Okay, the application state, it requires the server memory and can affect the performance of the server and the scalability of the web application. Okay, if it occupies the excess memory space. So we already know about this. Now in the same way, we will complete the session as it is a small part. So session is generally treated as what? It is simply a time duration between a specific interval, or a specific interval of time between the request and response. Okay, unlike application state, the scope of session state is limited to the current browser session. Means what? For the login and logout. Okay, then if a user exits from a web application and returns later, the user will have the different session state. Okay, and this is also structured as what? Key value pair. Okay, then next, again it has advantages as what? Access of the data is as fast as the store, like it stores the session data in a memory object of the current application domain, and it ensures platform scalability as it can work in a multi-process configuration. Okay. Then as the session state data is stored in a server memory, it is not advisable to use the session state when you are working with a large volume of data. Okay, and it can be a performance overhead if the memory is less. Okay, so in that case, it may destroy the session. Okay, so done. Now next is just check the example. So within this example, again, here I have written if the data is exactly equal to session, then session f name equal to what? First name, and the session L name equal to L name. Okay, if you have to remove the session, then you can use session dot remove that the particular name. Okay, and we are redirecting to which page? Session data. In the same way, now ASP डॉटनेट मध्ये सिंपल होतं की तुम्ही ऍप्लिकेशन एफ नेम ऍप्लिकेशन एल नेम असं लिहायचा, बट इथे कंपल्सरी ऍप्लिकेशन डेटा HTTP कॉन्टेक्स्ट टू ऍक्सेस करावा लागतो, लाईक HTTP कॉन्टेक्स्ट डॉट ऍप्लिकेशन एफ नेम, HTTP कॉन्टेक्स्ट डॉट ऍप्लिकेशन एल नेम, एक्सेट्रा. Okay, and string n equal to HTTP context dot application f name. Since I'm retrieving it also, we are storing it within a view bag and then we are returning. Okay, if you want, you can write the same code like these two lines of code in global.asx also within this application start. Okay, now go to the session data and retrieve the data like session fname name. Similarly, application just retrieve the viewback data. Okay, ह्यात असे खूप वेगळे एक्झाम्पल नाहीये, सिम्पलच आहे. The data will be stored, and if I'm saying application, again the data will be stored. So understood this much part? This is about state management. Okay, it's easy. There is no like means there is nothing like the new concept. Okay, temp data is there, but it again almost seem like the concept of view data. Okay, and that's why it looked familiar. Okay, now here a state management module is completed. Along with that, now we have to learn the next thing. What if you want to implement the session or ADO.NET code in MVC project, and how it can be implemented? Okay, so for that purpose, we will say take a new project. I will take a simple registration example. So we'll say MVC session. Okay, create a basic application over here. Then select the template as basic. Done. Okay, now let's start by creating a table. So I'll make the use of already existing table register, because using approaches we have already seen that like how to generate the crude operations. Okay, but now the next thing. Wait, it is connecting. Okay. So here we have register table with RID name. RID is anyhow identity columns. You don't have to take it in a design. So name, email ID, password, gender, and country. Okay. So let's create the same. Now for this particular table, what I have to do is I need to generate the like model class first. So the steps are always create the table. After creating a table, create the model class. So right click on models and add a class. So register. Within this register class, now I have to define everything manually. Okay. So public int RID, its getter and setter. In the same way, I will say public string name, again its getter and setter. Email, then we have password, gender and country. Done. Now once it is completed, next at model end only, like whenever we are working with ADO.NET, ADO.NET is used for which purpose? It is used for the database connectivity purpose, and according to MVC approach, all the data access logic must be returned at model end. Okay, so it means I have to write that ADO.NET code over here only. But now where and how? Okay, that we have to decide. So here, now you will learn one more concept called as data access object concept. Okay, that we have to create DAO classes, that is called as data access object classes, and with the help of those classes, that ADO.NET code will be written. So right click and add class, say register DAO. DAO is nothing but data access object. Within this class, we have to write an ADO.NET code. Okay, so let's see how it can be written. To do the same, simply first I have to create a method which will respond, like which is responsible for registering the data. Okay, means for inserting the data within a database. Okay, now here our table, it is bind with which class? Register.cs. So it means I have to insert the data with the help of this object of register class. Okay, so I will create a method over here as public int. I have taken int because whenever we are firing insert, update, or delete command, all these commands return the value in the form of integer. Okay, so public int, I will say registered or registered user. In bracket, you have to take the parameter as the object of register class, which is our model class. Okay, now we need to create connection string first. So let's go to the web.config. In web.config, this connection string is already available. So just give the name as con1, data source is Pratima PC, initial catalog is delegates, as I'm using the table from delegates, and integrated security equal to either you can keep SSIP or true. Okay, done. Go over here. Import the namespaces required for the same using system.data.sql client. Create the connection. SQL connection. Its object equal to new SQL connection in bracket. Configuration manager. You have tried the same code for fetching the data. Dot connection strings in bracket. I will give the name as con1 dot two strings. Now instead of writing two different lines of code, I have written the single line of code. Okay, and within that line only we have accepted the connection and we have assigned it to the SQL connection object. Now once the SQL connection is created, I have to start by writing a command. So specify SQL command, its object equal to new SQL command, insert into table name. Now our table name is what? Register values. Now I have to start by inserting the name because anyhow our ID is not required. So I will say r dot name. Okay, because we are accepting the data from this object r. Okay. In the same way, second I have to insert email ID. I just check the sequence. Correct. Email ID, passport, gender, and country. So r dot email, then r dot password, r dot gender, and the last one is r dot country, comma connection. Done. Okay. Now once it is taken, next you just have to execute this command and return the output. Okay. So close, return I. Done. Okay. So I have written the code for this registration. Now simply once this model classes, DAO, etc. are generated, next is right click, build your application or rebuild your application. Okay, it is succeeded. Now right click and add a controller. Now we don't have to use scaffold template. You have to use empty controller. Once it is generated, now right click on index method and add a view for register page. Create a strongly typed view if you want. Select a register model class from here and click on add. Now we need to create a design for this page. Okay. So anyhow, I have to make a use of form at the rate using html.begin form in bracket. I'll take the method over there as registered user, comma. Our controller name is what? Home, comma. The method type is form method dot post. Done. Then now I need to create that page. Okay. So the choice is totally yours whether you want to create the page by using HTML helper method or simply by using HTML code. Okay. So first of all, name at the rate HTML dot text box in bracket. I will say name. Then we have to create email ID. For now, I'm not applying the validation, but when you will create this example, you have to apply the validation because yesterday we had seen how to apply the validation on any HTML page. But instead of text box for or text box, I need to use password. Then for gender, now I have to take a radio button. Okay. But if you are not familiar with the HTML helper method of radio button, then you can simply go for a normal HTML radio button. Okay. So how it can be generated? Input type as radio, then name equal to and value equal to male. Okay. The only thing you have to do is give the same name to both radio buttons. Only the values will be differentiated. Okay. In the same way, now I have to generate the country also. So for country, oh sorry, here we have to give the name according to our variable name. We'll take select name equal to again the variable name option done. And then you just have to generate the radio, sorry, submit button. So input type equal to submit and value equal to register. Done. Okay, our like view page is also created. Now I have to create this register user method for writing or implementing business logic code. So go to the controller, place a public action result, register user. Now this will accept the parameter as what? The register class object. Okay, but you can see that class doesn't found over here. It's just because we have not imported the corresponding namespace. So using MVC session dot models because that class is placed within what? Model. Okay, register given object over here. Done. Then we need to call the method from register DAO class. Okay, so simply create the do one thing, create the static method over here. Public static int register user. Oh, so I will simply say if register DAO dot registered user in bracket object, if it return greater than 0, then I will say return view in bracket login. Okay, else we will say index, means we will navigate again to the register pane, that is home page. Okay, done. Now I have to create the further pages which is for login. Okay, and to do the same, first I have to build the logic for the login over here. Okay, so simply we'll say public. No, for login, I will take the return type as what? String, because whenever the login is successful, I need to return the value. Okay, and for returning that value means that value will be the username. Okay, and so for returning that value, I will require the return type as what? String, because username will be fetched in the form of string only. Okay, so public static string. I will say validate. Again, you need to take the object of which class? Register. Here also we have to specify the command. Now this code will be repeated. This will remain same as we have seen in like Windows application, ASP.NET application. The same thing we have to learn over here. Only the way of writing, or you can say the position, will be changed. Okay, because here we have three different component: controller, model, views, and on the basis of that you have to write this code. Select star from register, where email ID equals to r.email and password equals to r.password, comma, connection. Okay, then for executing this, I need to open the connection, then SQL data reader, its object equal to cmd dot execute reader. Okay, then you will check if okay if dr dot read, then why everyone has left the meeting. कोमल फक्त तूच ना.
हाँ मैम.
Just wait for a minute. I'm in group मध्ये message टाक. ओके ठीक है, कोमल में एग्जांपल कंप्लीट करते हैं. So if dr dot read, then we need to fetch the data. Let's say string username equal to, initially it will be empty, and username equals to dr name, because we have to log in by using email id, but at the time of retrieving data we have to retrieve the name. Okay, else un equal to failed. Okay, and at the end we will return that un value, username value. Okay, and connection close. Done. Okay, so we have written the method for validate also. Now go to the controller, create a view for login. Okay, for login also again two different views will be created, one for get, another for post. So I'll say http get, this is http post. Again this one will be for http get, as I have to create the design for login page. Okay, now for creating a design to the login page, just right click on login, add a view, create a strong data view and click on add. Okay, now here again you have to take the same type of code, at that html dot begin form, sorry, at that using we will use in bracket. This will redirect us to again which page, login, comma, our controller name will be home and the form method type is post. Create a simple design, username, like as it is easy to create this design by using input type, or you can say HTML, and that's why I'm using the same. Name will be email. It's just because I have to bind this data to the email ID column. Okay. Here the name will be password and input type will be password. Then input type submit, value equal to submit. Done. This will be the post. Here also I have to take the object of register class, the register R, then check. If not, because we don't know the exact name, username, so it is better that we have to check in a reverse direction. Like if not, register dot validate in bracket R dot equals. Okay, means the output returned by the validate method. If it is not equal to failed, it simply means the login successful. And if the login is successful, I need to save the username within session. So I will say session dot add uname, comma, the value returned by that method. Okay. Oh wait. Oh, I need to store that value somewhere. So string output equal to this, and that output dot equals. So if other than like field that value is returned, then we will say session dot add uname comma op. Okay, that output value. Okay, and return to which view page? Say profile. You can create any other page, that can be a home page also. else we will redirect again to which page, that is login. Done. Only this much code we have to write. Now once it is generated, once it is done, we need to create the profile page also, where I can display that username. Okay, you don't have to write anything, just write profile. Session is already created, so you can simply say welcome that username. So how that username will be fetched? Session uname. Done. Now let's see the output. I'll execute it again and then I'll explain the overall flow. Where it is executing. Okay. As it is executed, let's insert some data. I've already inserted some data within that table, but let's insert some more data. So just because the registration is successful, and that's why it redirects us to login page. And you can see welcome ABC is displayed. It means our code is working properly. Okay, so the steps are what? Whenever we are using ADO.NET, create the register class first. After that, create the corresponding DAO class for like where we can generate the methods for inserting data, fetching the data, deleting data, or updating data. Then after that, create a controller where we can make the use of get and post type of method. The get method is responsible for creating a design, and the post method is responsible for handling the business logic code and all the redirections. Okay, so in post method, always we will accept the parameter as what? The object of model class, and with the help of methods written in register DAO, we will generate the business logic and check uh, the response. Okay, if the response is positive, then we have to write the code that we will redirect to which page. If the response is like we can say failed, then again we have to write the code for like redirecting to which page. Okay, so this is how the whole like project is created. Okay, done. After that, like here our state management concept is completed. Now on Monday we have to start with next, which is security and linking. Okay, and after that our MVC will be completed. Okay, so I'll stop today's lecture over here. Okay, and we'll connect directly on Monday.